This is why Nigel Farage will be the Conservative leader in a matter of years.
I've tried my best to pick up votes in several different seats.
I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
I've had 7 straight attempts and 7 straight defeats. Because
I just can't get enough.
Most people probably know Nigel Farage. He was the man who was leader of UKIP, the UK Independence Party, and the Brexit Party, now known as the Reform Party, and ultimately led the country to leave the internationalist bloc, the EU.
Wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union. You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Despite his success and, quite frankly, his huge media profile, Nigel Farage has never been an MP. His success has been affecting change from the political sidelines, pressuring those with political power, such as Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings and so on. In recent weeks, speculation has grown that Nigel Farage could be the future leader of the Conservative Party. Farage even commented that he'd be surprised if he wasn't Conservative leader by 2026. So, let's explore this theory. How Nigel Farage could join the Tories, if he's popular enough to be elected, and if he's popular enough to lead the party itself, and how he could become the next Tory Prime Minister. Before we delve into the possibilities, let's try and explore the context of Nigel Farage in the first place. Farage has been the leader of the Eurosceptic parties, UKIP, the UK Independence Party, and the Brexit Party, now known as the Reform Party. But don't forget, Nigel Farage was part of the Conservatives first, and his political hero was Enoch Powell, the person who authored the Rivers of Blood speech so many years ago.
For reasons which they could not comprehend, the indigenous population found themselves made strangers in their own country. And you know where that's from, don't you?
I don't know.
Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech.
Is it?
Decades ago, and who was kicked out of the shadow cabinet by Ted Heath. He left the Tories in 1992 when John Major signed the Maastricht Treaty, basically politicising the EU, or the European Economic Community, into the EU at that point. He left the Tories in 1992 when John Major signed the Maastricht Treaty, eventually founding UKIP and becoming an MEP in 1999. Farage successfully campaigned for and won the 2016 EU referendum, pressurising the Tories to embrace a harder Brexit, hence Boris Johnson. His political life has been dedicated to getting the UK out of the EU. That's all it's been for. But now that Brexit's accomplished, or supposedly accomplished, what's next for Farage? There is speculation that he's eyeing up tangible power, i.e. being leader of the Conservative Party, because being the leader of Labour or Conservatives is the only real route to having any power in this country, because we are a first past the post system. We are essentially a two-party system. Nobody else has a chance. Lib Dems used to have a chance, but not anymore. And in a recent interview, Farage has stated that he'd be surprised if he wasn't leader of the Conservative Party by 2026. So, how could this happen? So, Farage would have to leave the Reform Party that he's currently a member of, reapply to the Conservatives, and wait for a vacuum, essentially. If and when Rishi Sunak loses the next general election, there will likely be a new leader. Remember, Rishi Sunak is the man without a mandate, elected by no one other than his political peers. In this scenario, Farage could contest a seat in the 2024 election, or he could just win a by-election in the next parliament term. As a backbencher, he could, and probably would, position himself strategically, like every other leader does. Basically, the Conservatives get new leaders when they stab their old leaders in the back. But would Tories support him? Would Conservative members, ordinary Conservative members, the left and the right and the centre wings of the Conservative Party, support Nigel Farage? Polls show that Nigel Farage is already popular with 7 out of 10 Conservative members. Tory members who want him readmitted to the party. At the Conservative Party conference this year, he received a hero's welcome.
What are you doing here? Is this your party now?
No.
Brexit was the first key political thing that I remembered when I was very young.
Right, then well, maybe the party itself is.
Showcasing his widespread appeal. This popularity sets the stage for basically a stellar membership vote. If Nigel Farage was to be put to the membership, the grassroots Conservative membership, to be the next leader of the Conservative Party, he could easily win it. He's already popular. He could easily win. It could be another Boris Johnson figure. Hopefully he'll do a better job though. Winning a general election might be challenging, but Boris Johnson won a general election. Boris Johnson won the biggest majority since Margaret Thatcher. People like odd characters. People don't like boring characters, hence why Keir Starmer is having such a hard time resonating with the public. Unconventional choices like Farage could resonate very well with the public, and I'd vote for him. Considering Sunak's potential and likely defeat in the next general election, they could look to Farage to be their beacon of hope to lead them to victory in the next general election after that. In conclusion, whilst it's crazy to think that Nigel Farage could be leader of the Conservatives and be the next Prime Minister, while the entire idea, the entire premise is laudable, it's doable. It is doable. It is more than doable, and it can easily become a reality. Nigel Farage becoming the next Prime Minister is a plausible scenario given the right circumstances. The right circumstances that Boris Johnson had imbued onto him. If you also think that Nigel Farage could be the next leader, could be the next Prime Minister, then like the video, subscribe to the channel and share the video. It helps me out massively. It helps the channel grow immensely, and we're already growing. If you agree with me and you think Nigel Farage could be the next Conservative leader, then let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Make love, not war.
Send them all home. Britain for the British. Bloody hell, not me again. Nigel. Can't you find someone else?
Did you like the video? Then hit the subscribe button or watch some more videos. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and helps the channel grow. Thank you very much.